If you've ever gone out with a woman, had a great conversation, but later felt like she just forgot about you, it's because something essential was missing. The truth is, women don't fall in love with sweet words or cute messages. They fall in love with the emotions a man makes them feel. And there's a psychological technique that can keep you on her mind all day long without you having to force anything. Want to know what it is and how to use it to your advantage? Stick with me until the end, because today you'll find out what really makes a woman miss you. Have you ever noticed how women tend to be more interested in men who don't reveal everything right away? There's a reason for that. Human beings value what they can't easily figure out. When something is too predictable, it loses its appeal. But when there's a certain level of mystery, interest increases because the brain goes into curiosity mode, trying to understand the situation better. This applies to many areas of life, including relationships. Think about a TV series you started watching. If within the first few minutes it's obvious how everything will end, chances are you'll lose interest. But if the story leaves you with questions and curiosity about what happens next, you'll want to keep watching, right? The same thing happens with attraction. When a man doesn't reveal everything about himself right away, he sparks curiosity. She starts thinking about him even when he's not around. But be careful. This doesn't mean you should be cold or distant. The secret is in balance. Many men make the mistake of dumping all their emotions and intentions at once, which can come across as needy or desperate. The ideal approach is to leave space for the woman to want to know more about you. Small mysteries make her more engaged instead of seeing you as just another guy who's interested. A simple way to put this into practice is by controlling how much information you share. For example, if you mention that you had an amazing experience traveling to another country, don't immediately spill all the details. Make her curious, make her want to ask more. That way, the conversation becomes more engaging and you become an interesting challenge. Are you a challenge or just another guy? Men who are always available, predictable, and do everything to please a woman often end up in the boring zone. If a woman feels like she has complete control over a man, she stops seeing him as special. The human brain enjoys challenges, and this applies to romantic interest as well. When something is handed over effortlessly, a person doesn't feel the need to invest energy into it. Now, think about that restaurant you loved at first, but over time, it lost its appeal because you already knew exactly what to expect. The same logic applies to relationships. If you're always available, reply instantly. And never set boundaries, there's no tension or excitement. A woman needs to feel that your attention has value, that she has to earn it in some way. This doesn't mean you should ignore her or play emotional games. What makes the difference is having your own life, personal interests, and not being afraid to say no when necessary. If she suggests a date at a time that doesn't work for you, don't drop everything just to please her. Instead, say something like, "I have something planned right now, but we can figure out another day." This shows that you have priorities and that your time is important too. When you position yourself this way, she sees you differently from other guys who do everything to please her. And you know what happens when a woman realizes she has to put in effort to get your attention? She starts valuing your presence much more. And then, without you having to force anything, her interest in you grows naturally. Have you ever heard of the push and pull technique? If not, hold on. I'll explain it to you. Every great story has moments of tension and relief, right? Relationships are no different. The so-called push and pull technique works because it creates an engaging rhythm between closeness and mystery, keeping the other person intrigued and interested. When applied correctly, this dynamic makes a woman feel like she's winning your attention rather than just receiving it effortlessly. The mistake many men make is going to extremes. Some pull away too much and seem indifferent, causing the woman to lose interest. Others are overly attentive all the time, eliminating any sense of challenge. The key is balance, alternating moments of deep connection with small pauses. If one day the conversation is lively and engaging, slow down a bit the next day. This makes her feel the difference and want to reconnect at that same level again. A simple example of this is in text messaging. If the conversation is flowing well, be the one to end it first. Say something like, "I really enjoyed talking to you, but I need to take care of a few things now. Let's talk later." This leaves the conversation at a high point and creates a small distance. If she's truly interested, she'll want to to keep talking, and at some point, she'll be the one reaching out to you. But be careful, this isn't manipulation. It's just understanding that interest grows when there's a natural balance of closeness and mystery. What attracts a woman isn't a man who's always available and predictable, but one who keeps a sense of dynamism in the interaction. This balance makes her more and more engaged. Why are rare men more valued? Think about it. Everything rare has more value, right? If something is always available, it loses its impact. The same logic applies to relationships. When a man doesn't create a sense of scarcity, he becomes just another guy. A woman needs to feel that your attention isn't guaranteed, that being with you is special. But hold on, this doesn't mean pretending to be disinterested or disappearing on purpose. True scarcity happens when you have an interesting and well-structured life. You're not always available because you have your own priorities, not because you're playing games. When your attention isn't easily given, it becomes much more valuable. Want an example? If a woman texts you and you reply instantly every time, it gives the impression that you have nothing more important going on. But if you reply on your own time, without anxiety, she realizes that your attention needs to be earned. And that small detail completely changes how she sees you. Now, scarcity isn't just about time, it's also about presence. Being available all the time doesn't mean being memorable. When you're with her, be 100% present. No phone, no distractions. But when you're not, live your life, focus on your projects, hang out with friends. This contrast makes every moment with you more valuable and makes her want to be around you even more. How to create strong and addictive emotions. In her, attraction doesn't happen through logic. It happens through emotion. A woman doesn't fall for a checklist of qualities, but for the way a man makes her feel. If she associates you with intense, exciting, and unpredictable emotions, it's only natural that she'll want to be around you all the time. This emotional connection is what separates a fleeting interest from an irresistible attraction. The secret? Alternating different types of emotions during your interactions. Predictable men create a boring experience, while those who know how to mix moments of fun, teasing, and depth generate an addictive effect. Small contrasts make all the difference. One moment you playfully challenge her, and the next, you show a more caring side. This keeps the interaction exciting. Want a practical example? Use humor and light teasing. If she makes a comment expecting a compliment, you can smile and say, "Oh, so besides being beautiful, you're modest too." This creates a fun and unexpected game. But the real impact comes when, at another moment, you show a more serious and authentic side. This emotional contrast is powerful. The key is not falling into the trap of being a guy who only jokes around or one who is always deep and intense. If everything is light and funny, it feels superficial. If everything is too serious, it can become overwhelming. Mixing these elements makes her associate you with a unique emotional experience. And that's exactly what makes a man unforgettable. How to make her think about you. The way you communicate determines the impact you have. Men who send predictable messages quickly become just another guy. If you want to keep a woman intrigued, your words need to spark curiosity and emotion. A great conversation isn't just an exchange of information, it's an experience that builds anticipation. The most common mistake: being too straightforward and creating no mystery. Messages like, "Hey, how are you?" or "How was your day?" don't trigger any emotion. Instead, try something more intriguing, like, "I have a theory about you, but I'll tell you later," or "Something reminded me of you today." This activates her imagination and makes her want to keep talking. Another powerful trick is to vary the pace of your interactions. If you always respond at the same speed and with the same energy, the conversation becomes predictable. Instead, alternate moments where you're more present and engaged with moments where you take your time to reply. This variation creates a sense of unpredictability, and guess what? It makes her think about you even more. And finally, know when to walk away. Many men drag conversations on until they fizzle out, leaving no lasting impression. The best approach is to end things while the interest is still high. Say something like, "I have to take care of a few things now, but I definitely want to continue this later." This keeps the cycle of desire active and makes her look forward to the next interaction. Creating attraction is only half the battle. For a woman to truly invest in you, it's essential to recognize the right moment to shift the dynamic. Many men make the mistake of not realizing when she's already emotionally engaged and continue acting the same way they did at the beginning. The key to maintaining her interest is knowing when to deepen the connection and take things to the next level. A clear sign that it's time to step up the game is when she starts putting in more effort to get your attention. If she texts you first, asks questions about you, or looks for ways to extend your interactions, it means she already sees you as a challenge and wants to secure a place in your life. This is the moment to reward her with more attention and emotional connection, without losing the balance that created attraction in the first place. Another strong indicator is when she shows slight frustration upon realizing you're not always available. If she says something like, "You disappear, huh?" Or, "I thought you forgot about me," it's a sign that your absence had a positive effect. This is when you can surprise her by bringing more intensity and closeness into the relationship. Creating this contrast between scarcity and emotional investment keeps the attraction alive and constantly evolving. The secret is never letting the relationship fall into monotony. When you notice she's genuinely invested, raise the stakes, suggest more engaging dates, share more about yourself, and deepen the emotional bond. A man who masters the balance between distance and connection has the power to keep a woman interested for a long time, turning initial attraction into continuous desire. How many times have you tried your hardest to win over a woman, only to be rejected or ignored? That pain can be overwhelming, making you believe the problem is you. But the truth is different. It's not your fault. What was missing was the right knowledge, something most men don't have but that you're about to discover. Imagine never feeling that sense of defeat again when the woman you like chooses someone else. There's a proven method that can change this reality. It doesn't require you to be handsome, rich, or have any special skills. It works for ordinary men. Just like you, there's no reason to keep suffering in frustration. Click the link. In the comments, watch the video and learn how to turn the game around once and for all. No matter how many times you've tried before, this time will be different. Believe it. Now that you know exactly how to keep a woman intrigued and invested in you, why not keep learning? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to get more tips on seduction, female psychology, and personal development. That way, you'll never waste time on games again and will have full control over your love life.